Welcome everybody to another episode of the Haunted Vermont podcast. My name is Paul Doski, and joining me is my good buddy Chris Burnie. Burnie, what is up, buddy?
Hey man, how are you?
So this is going to be in person again, and we haven't seen each other for years, but we both remember the story. Well, he remembers it more and obviously knows more because he looked into it and all that stuff, but I only know it because I was just in your doorway, man, in your old apartment.
Yeah.
So, I guess let's just get started a little bit of, it seems like you're into the paranormal stuff. You actually had a different Ouija board that you have just set off the air, but for the record, you said your mother took?
Yeah, so it was funny. The Ouija board that I used for the little talking with this person. Yeah, seance. So, left Traverse Place, that's where it all happened, Rutland, Vermont, and I went back to my mom's house to live there, and for some odd reason, I had this dream that my Ouija board went missing, and I woke up and looked in the drawer and wasn't there, so I was like, I think my mom might have took this, and she wasn't really into Ouija boards and stuff, so I asked her, I was like, what did you do with my Ouija board? And she's like, I got rid of it, and this guy burnt it, and in the dream, somebody said goodbye to me, and I don't know if it was the boy or whatnot. It was a weird dream, and I just knew it was gone. When I woke up, it was just that was the first thing I went towards, was my drawer, which was this dresser actually, which is weird. And I looked in the top drawer and it wasn't there. And yeah, I was very upset.
Oh man. That's so funny. I hear people all the time that talk about they don't want to play with the Ouija board anymore, and the next thing you know, it's like their grandparent or parent take the board and burn it. It's kind of interesting how that always works out in the end.
Yeah, it was weird. It's upsetting that my mom took it. I knew she wasn't going to like it, but the weird thing was I hid it from her, so she didn't even know I had it in the house. But yet she was like, I could feel this energy, and I was like, you probably did feel energy, but she found it and got rid of it, and like I said, I woke up that night, I had the dream, and I was like, what the hell? And I went to my dresser, it wasn't there.
That's so crazy, dude. So, okay, I'm going to try
I had a connection with the board.
Yeah. That's so crazy. So I'll start from what I sort of remember, and then maybe you can fill in the blanks basically. Mm-hmm. Maybe that might help out. So I remember you guys had this house show or whatever or something, and you had a group of people there, and then out of nowhere you were just kind of I want to bust out the board and see who wants to communicate or something to that effect. And Caleb, the skeptic, who I kind of now know, I gotta implant his name now into the head instead of just saying, yeah, Chris's friend. So anyway, he volunteered, which is ironic that he's a skeptic and yet he volunteered, maybe because he wanted to prove whatever.
It's not real,
yeah. So that makes it all the more better. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just standing there in the hallway or the doorway per se of your old bedroom, and basically you're starting it up, and then it just goes crazy from what I recall.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, how I got a hold of this Ouija board, because I don't even know if you know that. Do you know that story?
If I do, I don't remember, dude.
So, Denise Companion, R.I.P., she came over and was like, yo, my aunt lived in this apartment. And I was like, oh, cool. And I knew somebody lived there because Phil was like, yo, somebody killed themselves here. Somebody hid a Ouija board in this house. And I was like, no way. And so, literally, Paul, the first place I checked was my room. And I lifted up the first panel, and I touched it. And I ripped my hand out because I was like, no way. I'm freaking out because I was like, did I really just find it? The first thing I touch is the Ouija board. And I literally do it again. It was one of those school ceilings where you could push the panel up. That was and I lifted it up again, and I bring it down, and it was the Ouija board. And that's the Ouija board we used in my room. So there was already weird shit with the board, dude. And
not that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. Denise, I remember, was like, yo, can I have that? That was my aunt's. And I was like, no. I was like, you're not, I pay rent here. This is mine.
Yeah, this is mine now.
Prior to that, me and Phil tried it in his room and in the living room, and it didn't work. It wasn't working. But for some odd reason, when we went into my room, and there was always a cold spot in my room, I always felt like weird shit in my room. But like when we played with that board that day, and I don't remember the party. You said there was a party. I kind of remember.
I don't know if there was a party.
Maybe it was just a party.
Well, maybe. Well, I know you were you guys were known for 10 people in the house. Or something.
Animals. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you, Phil. Was it Steve-O there?
Yes. Yeah, it was like
I want to say Nicky was there also from the band, and so me and Caleb, we decided to play, and we started talking to this person, and we find out it was an 8-year-old boy. He said his name was Trevor Rogers, and that he was murdered. And I remember this one question, because we were like, you were murdered, like, where are you? And he was like, under the bathtub. And we're just like, what? Like, what bathtub? And he's like, your bathtub. And he also said, and nobody knew, he was cold. And I was like, is there a window open? And I don't know if you remember, we all went to the bathroom to see if the window was open, and the window was open. So we shut the window, went back to the board, and he started talking about, like, of course, the murder, and he said, like, something was evil, and we asked him what was evil, and he was like, his father, and we ended up, his father what the board said was the father murdered the kid, and I want to say the date was like 1940, it's between 1948 and 52, like, that's what I'm remembering, because we also went, and like after all this stuff, like there was some crazy shit that happened, like it just got dark in the house, and I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that went on. Yeah, we asked, Caleb let go and didn't say goodbye, so that's why I think like stuff went sour.
Sideways, yeah, definitely.
Like I remember kind of blocking out for a whole hour and not remembering like anything. I don't know if that's because I wasn't drinking that night or anything.
And I don't think a lot of us were.
And there was no drugs getting used in that house besides marijuana. So, yeah, there was like a whole episode that I had, and I was like punching walls and crying, and I don't remember why I was doing that.
Probably because of you were probably feeling whoever it was emotions at the time. The rage.
I think I was punching the bathroom wall, which is interesting because he said he was buried under the bathtub. I didn't really think about that until now. And it was a weird thing. I always said I thought I got possessed for a second.
You probably did. You almost it almost felt like in that way you kind of felt like it's emotion. In a way, I don't know if that is considered possession, but in a way I would almost feel like it is, because you're almost feeling this person's emotions of that time frame, maybe, of what happened, maybe of why, maybe he feels like complete shit from what he did.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, it definitely took over me, because like I said, I can't remember anything besides what Phil told me. Because, like, this is, like, when everybody left, and, yeah, no, like, after, I think everybody left after, like I said, I don't really remember that, like, time, besides, like, what was said on the board. After that, was kind of a blur.
Yeah, so I just want to go back, too, before Caleb lifted up his hand. Yeah, from what I remember, you got those answers and stuff. And I do now that you recall, we did look around. I don't think you guys actually got up, but you had
I think we had people go look.
Yes, yeah. Because obviously if you let go of the board, yada, yada.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, did I let go of the board?
No.
Yeah.
And so anyway, you walked around, and yeah, I think we did have, in fact, that window that you were talking about. Moving forward, though, I do remember, now that you say evil, I think that might have been with the whole he is coming, and I think that's why he didn't want to say goodbye, because he almost felt like reassurance that you guys weren't contact with him, I think.
Yeah, because we asked to say goodbye. It definitely didn't say goodbye at all. And
no.
Then, that's when Caleb was like, I can't handle this.
And right before the sideways event, I do recall right before he did let go, because he was so freaked out of what just happened, was there was like a little bit of a pause. It was just like what was going on. And as you were trying to get it to say goodbye, it didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden it was like HELPME. So fast, man.
Yeah.
Like if you blinked, it was over.
I think that was asking to help him because like he told us where he was, which was under the bathtub, and me and Caleb ended up going to the Rutland Library and looking up that name, Trevor Rogers, with the date. Like I said, I can't remember the date, and I'm like feeling like a dick because like this is.
It is at the library.
Yeah, at the library there is a missing report person on Trevor Rogers as an 8-year-old boy in Burlington, Vermont.
Burlington. That's why I can't find him.
Yeah, it's in the Rutland paper, but like it's in the Burlington section, and we found that his parents stopped to like relax for a second, and I guess there was a bus there too, and they thought that somebody on the bus took him, but he ended up missing in South Burlington at a stop somewhere, and I want to say it's like 1948. Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's and it was just weird because it's like, why, if he's saying he's under the bathtub, like he's not missing, he's right there. And we asked about
well, that's probably how they filed it. Had him missing.
Yeah, and we talked to the guy that owned the house, and he said that house was built when the railroad was getting put in.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was during the 20s.
Yeah. And
so the 40s sounds about right, because like the railroad would be still pushing.
Still being worked on.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been fully operational yet.
Yeah, so there a lot of poverty and people trying to, there's probably a lot of bad things that happen we don't know about.
Yeah, that's crazy though. But yeah, that's all I really recall of this. But that's awesome that you actually found out more.
Yeah, because we were just like, yo, if he's asking to help him, like we should try to like help him. We always felt a little obligated. We even try to get under the like
the floorboard.
We were trying, not the floorboard. We were trying to because you couldn't do it because it was like all linoleum and crap like that. So if we started ripping up the floor, they would know. But we asked to get under the in the basement, and he wouldn't let us in the basement, so that sucked. Because I wanted to see where our bathtub was and see if there was like a cement casing or something to see if it was like redone or try to hide it or something like that.
Yeah, that's weird, man. I don't know how to even answer that. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. And it's just, one of those unsolved mysteries. Now that you say that, though, with Burlington, I think I want to say 1948. I want to say, though, his last name might have been spelled differently than the way that you had sent me it. And if that's the case, then I may have found it. It was like 1948. I'll have to double check now.
I don't know if I think it's just Rogers, not with a D, with a G, but I don't know. I could be wrong. That's
how I would ended up finding it with a G, and there was no D.
Yeah. That's how I remember him spelling it.
So
maybe like auto-corrected me.
Maybe it's not like it's trying to say like Rodriguez or something. But no, that's a interesting story. So. I guess, is there any more to this besides, like, do you remember finding out, I don't know, anything? Did you feel any differently after finding out this information? Almost like...
No, I think we lived there for another, 4 months after that. And I always felt connected. I love that Ouija board. So when it went missing, it really kind of tore apart of me. But I didn't find anything else after that. We kind of just left the story like it was already left behind.
Well, I'm just wondering, after that night, obviously, I'm just curious, like, did you feel like, I don't know, like maybe there was a heaviness, maybe sadness or something, after you found this information, maybe it, like, felt like it lifted?
No, I think it's always been a heavy burden on me because, like, it's just always in the back of my mind. It's like, it's Traverse Place right down there. It was my first apartment, like, that was the best, like, experience as a kid, but, like, the most fucked up because I went through that little stint, and it's just still always in the back of my head, and it's sad.
It is. Well, hopefully the kid found some sort of justice from that, though, from having his story being told.
Yeah, well, we're still talking about him.
Well, that's always good,
right? It's a real person that went missing, so.
Yeah. Missing, and I'm saying that like in quotation too, but I mean, unfortunately, that was like the time frame. And what's interesting now that you say that, if it is 40, like late 40s, dude, that makes sense because of around that time frame, even in South Vermont, like Bennington area, there were so many missing people going on around that time frame from like 1943, we'll say, to like the 1950s.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if people were just killing each other back then, not caring.
Probably. I mean, there was a guy named Henry McDowell. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But he's the more you read about him, it almost feels like he kind of was like insane because he ended up killing a coworker with like a rock. And then he tried to get sent off to like at the time, the Vermont Asylum, which is in Brattleboro. And he ended up somehow escaping. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that area, for sure.
Wild.
Yeah. I mean, I can also just share, like, another weird story, which I actually seen this guy's death certificate, too. And it even says it right on the death certificate. But back in, like, the 1943, actually coming up this month, as of this recording for November, I think it was, like, November 23rd or 24th or something like that. But this hunter went out into the woods and disappeared. And his partner went out to find him. And when they found him, his body was like mangled up, and like his face was like all black, and everything. Same with his hands were all like scratched up. And they sent his body to like for the autopsy, and it came back saying that he was squeezed to death. But what makes this even more bizarre,
Sasquatch man,
is his gun was like 70 feet leaning up against a tree from his body. But even on his death certificate, he even said that he was attacked by a bear and he was squeezed to death. Because that's how they ruled his death.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, that's exactly what we all say, too. Like, there's something wrong about this.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so
that's
look
a cool
him up.
Story.
Yeah, his name is Carl Herrick. So, interesting story for sure.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Chris, I mean, I have nothing else except for, I guess, that's one Ouija story you're definitely never going to forget.
Oh, I'm never going to forget this, and thank you for coming and talking about this. It's always fun to talk about this experience.
Dude, like I said, I mean, I was just in the doorway, so the fact that I got to see it, like, in person, and yeah, I'm pretty sure Caleb would say the same thing.
Yeah, no, I'll get a hold of Caleb, and we'll talk to him. You'll talk to him, and he'll say the same thing. You'll probably have a little bit different story because it was a different person, so.
Obviously, but he was skeptic at the time. That's what makes it better.
Yeah. Changed his mind real quick.
Oh, I bet it did. It kind of makes me wonder how he looks at the world. Speaking of which, before I do let you go, Chris, so, real quick, so, you obviously started to get into this, I guess I should say. Was this how you got into the field of the paranormal per se? Or was something else more in tune with you to say there's something else going on?
Yeah, I would say this was the first paranormal experience. I always believed in it because like I grew up religious, so I believed in the Holy Spirit and shit like that. Not so much anymore, but like I definitely believe in energy and spirits and weird witchcraft and stuff like that. Because if you put enough energy into something, you can create it. So
you're saying we can almost manifest our own stuff?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
You just have to put yourself and energy towards it and keep going.
That's right, man. Well, all right. Well, I think we'll just weave that out of the note. And thank you again, Chris, for your time. Like I said, I always love talking about it. And the fact that you had more stuff this time to, feed my brain of this. Like,
yeah, well, it's been like
it's amazing.
15, 16 years.
Oh, man, it's been forever.
Yeah.
2008, 9, I can't even remember.
I think I was 20 or it was either 20 or 9. Oh, so it'd be long. Yeah, 17 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, thank you again, Chris, and for everybody else. If you have a weird story that you would like to share, whether it's inside the Green Mountains or beyond the Green Mountains, reach out at hauntedvermont.org or email at hauntedvermont802@gmail.com. Thank you.